Hadley, you go to Lincoln Sudbury?
Curtis Middle School.
Curtis, okay. Because they've got a culinary club at Lincoln Sudbury, which I'm doing something with those folks in February probably.
Neat.
We're going to do a charity event where hopefully the kids from the culinary club are going to take over the restaurant. We're going to come up with a little 3-course menu for them. They're going to we're going to donate all the proceeds to the Sudbury Community Food Pantry.
Nice.
Like,
So can we, is it?
yeah, it'll be
public?
open for everybody.
That's at the school or at Bullfinch's?
I'm going to open up Bullfinch's for them.
Well, that'd be fun.
And then the culinary club, I figure I'll have a couple kids in the kitchen with us, 3 or 4 kids
Oh, what a great idea.
out front serving. Yeah, I mean, obviously with my staff
Right.
helping them.
Yeah,
But
you could be a maitre d' hostess.
yeah, there you go. No, we'll put you in the kitchen. I need a dishwasher that night.
That's a very rare skill of this house.
It is. So I brushed a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of this pan, sprinkle a little bit of olive oil over the top. We're just going to do just a little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to bake these, and I found some great goat cheese Gouda, which I'm going to sprinkle over the top. I don't know if I can put it on Meredith's, but I'll put it on Paul and Hadley's. And we'll wait until those get nice and brown, and then we'll melt it on the top. So those are all set to go. Those are going to go in the oven
Beautiful.
15-20 minutes and see how easy it was. It's a no-brainer. Soup's coming along. Next thing is we're going to prep our veal. We did get scallopinis. I was hoping to be able to show you how to butcher down a veal top, but they didn't. They did make scallopinis, but they didn't pound them out. So what I'm going to do is pound them out for you. I'm basically going to make little 2-ounce portions. And we might have to do this in 2 batches just because I don't have a very large saute pan.
You're gonna go get a 14-inch pan.
I guess.
No, that's fine. I've got it preheated and everything. It'll be fine. I can make do, trust me. I've done it before. I can do it again. What we'll do is we'll just saute it in 2 batches, and then we'll throw it all back in there and make the sauce. All right. So I've got my veal cutlets all cut out. Set them out on the cutting board. Plastic wrap or parchment paper so you don't splatter everything everywhere. Uh-oh. Oh, this is one of those easy slide.
Right.
Which isn't so easy.
No.
Scott, if you had a regular pounder while you're doing this, would you use the spiked tips
No.
or just the flat?
Just the flat. Yeah, you don't want to really break it up. We didn't have a mallet, so next best thing. We're just going to flatten them out just a little bit. Try and start at the center and work your way to the outside. And I'm not pounding the heck out of them. I really just want to thin them out a little bit. Okay. That set's done.
There's an awful lot of veal there.
Well,
we're a hungry, growing
veal
family.
goes a long way too, so.
And because it's so thin, it gets cooked up in no time, right?
Yeah, no time at all. Quick flip in a hot pan.
if you're really angry at someone, that's a good time to do that.
Excellent time to take out your aggressions. Yes, it is. Okay, so we've got these all done. Got a little pan of flour. We're just going to season this with salt and pepper. And remember, as I've said in the past, always go light on the salt, because you can always add it. But once you've put too much salt in something, it's a done deal. Now we're just going to lightly flour our little cutlets. One trick I learned, I'm not really doing a full breading here, but one trick I learned in the restaurant business is when you are breading, say you're doing an egg wash and then breadcrumbs or something like that, use one hand for the wet ingredients and one hand for the dry ingredients. So when you're finished, your hand doesn't weigh 18 pounds from all the breading.
Yeah, done that.
Yeah, exactly. But if you use one hand for wet and one hand for dry, the cleanup is a lot easier. You don't have to get out the scrub brush.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. If there's a little spot that you miss, that's no big deal.
No,
right?
no. Basically what this does is just kind of forms a little unseen crust on the veal to lock in the moisture of the veal.
Sometimes, Scott, do you use egg as well?
Yes, when you're breading, when you're going for something with like a bread crust, or we don't use at the restaurant. We really don't use much egg in that vein. Most of our stuff, if it is breaded, goes just straight into breadcrumbs. That's fine. I'm just going to set that right there. Okay. I'm going to move our veal over here. Okay, great. We've got our floured veal. We're bringing it over to the saute pan. We've got our pan nice and hot. Might even need to take this off a little bit, let it cool down. I always say that you should have your pan nice and hot, but there is a fine line.
You burn it.
Yeah, we don't want to burn it. I'm just going to let this cool down. So we've got our oil in there. We've got our floured veal cutlets. That's the sound we're looking for. And if you notice, as I lay them in, always lay them away from you. Don't get into throwing them in there. Always slide them in there nice and easy so you don't end up with some spattered oil on yourself. We're just going to brown these up nicely. And these are only going to take probably 2 minutes per side. Now that I'm started, we can go up with the heat a little bit. There we go. Now we don't want to really necessarily cook them all the way through right now, because we're going to finish them with a sauce in the pan. So we're going to cook them about medium rare right now. Set them aside, do our next batch, and then we'll get the whole batch in there. Starting to brown up on one side there, very nicely.
Heat them up.
We're going to check our carrots.